Okay, so the first thing you do, and I want you to get into this habit. The first thing you do is you see, is this an income or an expense? It's an expense. So we are working with expenses. Okay. What does expenses do? If it becomes more, the profit becomes less. If it becomes less, the profit becomes more. So now let's see. It includes the amount that was paid in advance. Now when things are in advance, we plus or minus? We always minus. Remember, accrued plus future minus. Ne? Nothing has changed since grade 10. So now this is in advance. So what's it going to do to my expense? Is it going to make my expense more or less?
It's going to make it less.
It's going to make my expense less. And if an expense becomes less, what happens to the profit?
It increases.
It becomes more. So here I'm going to plus 123,600. Okay? But I also know now, what is this? This is a prepaid expense. And I'm busy with the face. Will it go with receivable or payable? Receivable. So I go and I put in the, what was it? 123,600. And that's an easy tick already because you know your format. Okay? This one you might get the signs wrong. You might. So I'm not going to take that as a definite yes. That was now on video. The repayments on the loan, okay, are fixed at 35 per month, including interest. And they give you the balances in the loan statement. And now they say provide for interest on loan. And immediately you're like, oh, I can do this because we have a song. And I draw my T for loan. Opening and a closing and a bank and a interest on loan. Opening, closing, bank. Is bank 35,000? No, it's per month. So 35,000 times 12 gives me?
120
Huh?
Dalmatians. 120 Dalmatians.
120 Dalmatians.
420.
420
Yeah.
Dalmatians. Okay. And now I balance on my interest. How do I balance? This plus minus equals 273. Okay. Now, what's very important, please do not do this little sum on your question paper because your marker does not see it. Do this little calculation here. Can you see there's a big space for you to do your calculation there? Yeah. Right? Okay. Now I'm asking you, what is interest on loan? Is it an income or an expense?
It's an expense.
It's an expense. Is this expense becoming more or less?
It's becoming more.
It's becoming more. If an expense becomes more, what happens to the profit? It becomes less. 273.
Oh, this makes sense.
You guys get it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we are busy with loan, so let's go finish the loan. They want me to do this. Now what do I want? The closing balance. Now remember, I said to you, be careful, ne? Because they give me here. Oh, I'm at the wrong question. I said to you, oh, remember they gave me here a mortgage loan, but I must be careful for this amount because I first need to go see if the interest is already in. Now just look at that one, the 3755. Do you see it? Now if I go here, is that the closing? No, it's not. Now, if I take that 3755, if I can promise you, if I say 4175 less 420, it's going to give me that 37 whatever 55. That's what's going to happen, because the interest is not included yet. Okay. But be aware, if you go to a paper where here they say all relevant entries have been recorded, then it means the interest is already in. Okay. But that they have to tell you. Okay. So now, what is my closing balance? Now it's easy. This is my closing balance, the 4028. Ne? So if I go wrote there 4028 Dalmatians, I already got a tick. Ne? Now I need to subtract the short-term loan. And I can tell you this, if I take that amount and I also put it with the short-term loan there, I'm also going to get another tick. Okay, this is all just principle simple. Okay. And most of the times, because I minus something, I will also get a bagel. Can you guys start to see? There's already 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we haven't even really done anything. Okay, so now let's go. What do they tell me? Do they say anything about a short-term loan? They don't say anything. But remember when I read through the paper, I remember there was also info at G. This is very strange, and you know what? It would make your life, that is why reading time actually makes your life easier, because you pick this up. So it says there, fixed installment of 35,000 to cover loan repayments and interest had to be paid. All they're saying there is that 420 is more the 273. I want to quickly show you, this is what makes it so interesting. If I make that 420 and I subtract the 273, what do I get? Okay, now, okay. Now, if I take that 4175 and I subtract the 4028, also the same thing, 147. Can you see? So that 35 includes the 273 and the amount that I paid back there. Okay. Now, let's go look. They say, this is a fixed monthly installment. So meaning, when I sign contract, I'm going to pay 35 every month. Now they say, the interest, however, is going to decline over the loan. Ne? Can you see now they say next year the interest is going to be 234. Last year it was 273. Okay, can you see the interest is less? But if I still pay 420, can you now see the amount I'm going to pay back on the loan is less? Ach, why you say yeah? The amount I'm going to pay back on the loan is going to be more. Can you see that? Because I'm still next year going to pay 420. I'm still going to pay 420. Okay? But now the interest is not going to be 273. The interest is going to be 234. So what am I going to pay back? You understand what I'm doing here? Okay, I will do it nice and slow again. Huh?
186.
Okay. I'm just going to finish the process, meaning this is going to be 186 and this is going to be 186. So let me go through it slow again. Let's go slow through it again. We've established that if I take the payments that I made and I subtract the interest, I get how much they paid on the loan. You guys are all fine with that. So now, when I look at this, they say to me that 35,000 per month, meaning the 420 per year, it's fixed. So next year I'm also going to pay 420. That's fixed. It's not going to change. But what is going to change? If you look here, can you see your closing balance is less than your opening? Right? And what do they work your interest on? On the closing, né? So can you see your interest is going to be less. This year the interest was 273. Next year, and now they tell you, the interest is going to be 234. I'm still paying 420, né? But now my interest is less. So it means my payback is going to be more than last year. Are you fine with that now? You guys sharp? Yeah. And this is what I'm going to pay back next year. Remember, it can still change. Huh? Okay, why do I record it this year? What's the principle of the short-term loan? Is I want to make it a current liability. So my loan is still 4 million. Ne? This is still my loan. But this part is no longer a long-term loan. It's now a short-term loan because I need to pay it in the next 12 months. Does that make sense? So I take that part out and I show it as a short-term, a current liability. And the rest I show as a non-current because I'm only going to pay it back after 12 months. Does that make sense? And remember, when I do my current ratio, current assets to current liabilities, what's the purpose of that? Is to see if I have enough assets to cover my liabilities. So can you see why I want to put this one here? I want to see, do I have enough to pay? Does that make sense, baby? Okay. Everybody sharp? I can continue? Okay. So loan. Now I say 402 less 186. I'm not going to, what is the amount? Okay. And remember to block and top, ne? So, next one, rent income. So they tell you this is a income. Okay. Now, rent was received from a tenant. This has been recorded. What does it mean? That net profit, this one here, already includes, or not, yeah, this one, it already includes that 74,000. It's in there. But there's an adjustment. And what's the only two adjustments? It can either be a accrued income, I still owe, or it can be I paid in advance. Ne? It can only be one of those two. So let's make sure which one it is. So they say the rent was received from a tenant, blah, 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 blah. But now I want to look at this. This amount takes into account a reduction of so much per month on 1st of May. Can you see when we look at the dates? When is my financial year? It's February. My year is February. I'm lying because I'm again at question 2. I'm lying again. It's June. I keep going to question 2. I'm so sorry. Okay, so can you see?
Yeah.
So it's June. So if I do my calculation for the rent, and once again I can see my year ends June, I have paid till August. So I want to know, is this in advance or is it accrued? It's in advance. What does future do?
Minus.
Future minus. What did I tell you? This is an income. If an income minus, what does a net profit do? works with it, ne?
also
It will also minus. Meaning if I go here, I will have a bracket. Now, the calculation for this, some of you are now really good with it and some of you are still very bad at it. You know which one of the two you are. So if you're really good at it, go for it. But if you are really bad at it, you just take that 74,000, you divide it by 13, you get an amount. I'm going to mark it wrong. But then that amount, what do you do with that amount?
you take it to the
Income received in advance goes to the payables. Then you go and you put it in here and you're going to get a tick for it. And you move on with your life.
yeah.
Okay. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
But now let's see if I can calculate this. So they say this was received on the 1st of... Now my whole thing with this, I'm needing paper. Can you give me those papers? Thanks. So the whole thing with this is they tell me, okay, I have a rent income. Okay? 1st of March. Am I lying? It's 1st of July.
July.
30 June plus July and August. Ne? You guys with me? They say it was decreased with 750 from when? 1st of May. Now, what you do with this, and I'm saying again, if you are not good with this calculations, don't do it. It does not count enough. I can promise you this thing is going to count 2 ticks. Maybe 3. Is it worth your while? What is worth your while? Is knowing that you can put it in the balance sheet. So you must have a figure for me here, even if it is wrong, and then put it here, and then you get your tick. You hear me? But let's do this. Okay. Now, how many months did I receive after the decrease? May, June, July, August. 4 months. Can you see 4 months? I received 750 less than usual. 3,000. Okay. So in other words, here I received X. Here I received X less 750. You see me? So can you see what I'm going to do now? Is I'm going to say, oh, I received 74,000. For 4 months, I received less. But if I didn't receive less, I was supposed to receive 77. You see, I added that. Does it make sense to you? Okay, 77. How many months did I receive in total? Oh, 12, 13, 14. What do I get?
5,500.
So this is 5,500 per month, as if there was no decrease. Ne? This is if I didn't have a decrease. Where does these 2 months that's in advance lie?
In the decrease.
After the decrease, ne?
Yeah.
So, meaning if I minus 750, it means the guys here only paid 4,750, not 5,500. How many months did they pay in advance? 2.
months.
So I just times it with 2.
9,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now 9,500. Ne? And here's the one that I want. 9,500. Where you get your bagel. And because you already got 2 ticks here, if you add them here, you already get another tick. You see? Okay, let's go back. Next one. Me and my papers. Me and my papers love each other not. Where's the Oh, yeah. Okay. Next one. After taking into account the corrections above, it is determined that an additional 85,250 is still owed to SAS. Now, can you see that word? What does that word mean? Still owed means, I just want to make it less bright. Okay. Oh, it's still very bright. Ooh, genade. Okay, there we go. Still very bright. Are you guys still alive there?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me switch off this. Better? You're supposed to say yes?
Yeah, it's fine. It's been fine.
Yeah, but I need feedback. Okay, so now it says still owed. So is this a receivable or a payable?
Payable.
A payable. How much is payable? The 85. 250. 85 to 50 goes here. Can you see it's a small amount compared to what I already paid SAS? No? Remember, if I look here, I already paid SAS 1.2 million. Can you see that 85 is small? The amounts in your balance sheet will never be as big as the payments. It will always be a smaller amount. If they said it was still receivable, I would have put in it here with receivables. You see? Okay. Now comes the thing. I've already paid 1.2. Right? What am I looking for? I'm looking for my income tax, because remember, if I look at this is before tax, after tax, meaning I need to show the full income tax expense. Okay? So what is still owed? Different than accrued. So what does accrued always do? I already paid 1.2 million. There. I still owe 85,250. Will that make what I already paid more or less? More, ne? It's accrued. And now I can get my income tax. And what is my income tax? 1. Now, if I go here to this thing, I now know I've got a balance balance BD, meaning here's a CO of that 82,250. Can you see? Income tax is 1,282,250. Usually they will give you that. They will give you the income tax. Okay? And if they give you the income tax, can you now see, oh, I still owe 82,000. I paid less than what I owe. Okay. You guys sharp?
Yeah.
And by knowing that, and even if you didn't know what to do with the 85, if you showed that calculation, you would get one tick for that 1.2 already. Or you would get one tick for that 85 already. Or bagel. Can you see? Say you said minus 85, you will get 1, 2. Let's say you only put in the 85, you'll get 1. So from that 3, you'll get at least 1. Yes. Why? Because here you want to show your expense. You don't want to show how much you paid. You want to show what is your tax expense. Because remember, in your income statement, it's net profit before, less tax gives me net profit after. And that net profit after the tax is the net profit that I can distribute to my shareholders. So I want to know what is my net profit after the tax. And that's what I'm calculating here. My earnings. So whatever amount I get here is my earnings. Okay, so if they have said incorrect net profit after tax, then I would just remember if an expense becomes more, the profit becomes less, then I would just subtract the 85. Because it means, if that is after tax, it means they've already subtracted that 1.2. Happy? Okay. So, next one. Shares. Do they give me enough information here, if I read here, to know what the final ordinary share capital is? I don't see anything, because now remember, they didn't give me an opening or a closing. For me to do you remember, this is the note. For me to do the note, I need at least the opening or the closing. Okay, so no, this is not going to tell me how many ordinary share dividends, capital I've got. But what do they give me that I can use? Where's my orange thing? If I look here, can you see they tell me how many shares are in issue the end of the year? Okay, so I know I've got that. Remember NAV, so I've got the shares. You see? Okay. What am I shorting? Shareholders' equity, because if I look at this, they've already now given me NAV equals SHE over shares times 100. Okay? Now, what is the NAV? They tell me it's 540 cents. Remember that cents indicates that they timed with 100. Okay? So, 540 cents is equal to SHE over, they already told me, 1.8 million shares. Now, times 100. Now, if I calculate SHE, and now can I just once again say, this is again things that you might not understand. And then you think, oh my goodness, I'm going to lose so many marks, I might as well have not come to write. But can I tell you what's going to happen? They want you to calculate SHE. And that's going to be 2 ticks. Okay? Then they want you to say, oh, the SHE less the retained gives me the ordinary. That's going to give me my bagel. So can you see? It doesn't matter if you calculate this wrong. Make sure you get this bagel. Okay? So if you're not a maths person, do the maths you can do. But can you see it's important to have an amount there? Right? So, you know what you do? Is you take anything plausible. You see there's 1.8 million shares, and there they talk about 3 rand, so you just go and you times it with 3 rand, and you get your ordinary share capital, you get that one. Next, can you see you work it the other way around? You put in 1.8 million times 3, you put in the amount there, you say this plus this gives you that. Okay? If you don't know how to work the NAV. Why would you do that? Because I will then mark this one wrong, but this less this is going to give me that one. You see? But don't put stupid things in there like 20 rand. I mean, be at least part of the figures. Okay? So, let's go do the math for the mathies. So, this thing looks wrong for me. I would want to say it's x over, and that cancels out, 1/8 equals 540. So x would be times 18,000. And that gives me whatever, ne? For those who are more clever than me, you would have just said 54,000. No, 540, you would have said 540 times 1.8 over 100. Ne? For those of you who are better with maths than me. Okay. And so what do we get the owner's equity?
9,720.
Okay. And then I say 9,720 less that gives me this one. I'm not going to do that with you now. Okay. Now, can you see overdraft is a balancing? But I've got a problem here because I cannot calculate this total, ne? Because I'm shorting this one and I'm shorting this one. So now I have to go to the top. Okay? I have to go see the top. Now if I look at the top, I also have a problem because I don't have anything here. So I'm also not able to calculate this. You see? Now what am I going to do? What other alternative do they give me? And if you are not someone who's good with numbers and this makes you cringe, you leave it and you move on. Only thing I would advise you to do is to write to just add those two plus this, get an amount here that you transfer there, that you can get 2 bagels there. Okay, but don't worry about anything else. What else, where else can I get marks if I can't do how to get those two? How else can I get marks? Firstly, I can add my receivables. Ne? So add your receivables and that's going to give me an amount, which I'm not going to do now. Then, how will I get my cash? I know inventory plus receivables plus cash gives me 87. So 87 less 75 less the star is going to give me that. Okay, I think we must now work it out because I see Dover eyes. So quickly, add this for me. 36 Don't throw me with your calculator.
0037.
Can't see there. 4810. So now if I say 87 less 675 less 374810, how much is my cash?
Maybe he's wrong.
Oh, we forgot about the transfer. So this one is wrong. Thank you, Kwave. Here we go. We haven't done these two yet. Thank you. Debtors with credit balances must be transferred to the creditor's ledger. Sorry. So let's do that. So the first thing you do is you draw your T's. Debtors is plus minus, creditors is minus plus. Now I see it's a debtor with a credit balance. So it's here, 11. So I need to fix it. So I need to get this one out. And then I put it in. Remember, it will always be, the debtors and the creditors will always plus, plus or minus, minus. They will not mix signs. If the one is a plus, the other one will also be a plus in this case. So, if I go here, plus 11, plus 11, I get this total here, right? I get that total there. I'm not going to waste further time adding up. We still need to do one that we've missed here at the bottom. GMO Limited returned. Who is GMO? Is that us? What's our name?
You don't even know.
We are GMO.
Yeah, we are Jimmo.
We are Jimmo, so we are returning. Can you see that this is going to influence my creditors control to the supplier? The selling price was once, and can you see now you immediately like, oh, but is all my calculations at the start now wrong? Because I did stop. And you go in a conundrum. But if you go look here, can you see this is for suits? Okay? And this is for lady coats. It's different stock. Okay? Can I just say it looks like that is up in your nose? Every time I look at you, I'm like, why would you have your highlighter in your nose? Okay, that was funny. Okay. It's not really in his nose. For those who are listening, it's in his mouth. Okay. Here we go. 10 lady coats. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for how much did I buy it from the supplier. So I'm looking for the cost price. So they say the selling price was 1,750. Am I going to use the 1,750? I am, but not the way you think. I need to use it to get the cost. So it's going to be 1,750, 100 over 125, and that gives me 1.4. And how many suits? 10. So 14,000 is going to be returned. No entry has been made. So I'm going to subtract it here. But now I'm also thinking, what's also going to be influenced? My inventory should be influenced. My inventory should be influenced as well. But now my question is, the inventory that's here is only for my suits. So I don't understand what they want me to do here. So I would just do that, because I don't have time to go and think about stuff. Ne? So I will just do that and get an answer and move on. Okay. We'll look on the memo now what they wanted us to do. That makes me a very good teacher. Ne? Because that's how we teach. Because do they give me stock? Can you see they gave me stock? So I didn't, so first of all I missed that. See, really good teacher here. So that should have been 4,198,500 less the 14,000. So not that one. Okay. Yes. What 675?
The suits. What do we distribute like the suits?
Was it calculated already?
It was a closing stock for 1.1.
Okay, they say it was omitted, so we also need to add the 675,500. You see, we should all write this paper all together.
Yeah, that would help.
Okay, but is everybody shocked now? There's nobody so confused that they want to run away. Lolly? End. It was just part of the calculation actually. Because I, in my very good wisdom, forgot about this. Yeah, they could be. But now, the way I taught you, you would still have 1, 2, 3 marks. Okay. So now we need to calculate this current liabilities. Okay? So I've got everything now. Are you sure I've got everything, Miss Q? Okay. Everybody happy? So now what do I know? I've got the asset test ratio. What is the asset test ratio? It's receivables. It's my liquid assets, ne? So it's receivables plus cash. Or I can say my current assets less inventory. Both gives me the same thing. Okay? 2 current liabilities. Okay. And I am looking for the current liability. Okay. So I can either say 8.7, then I less that inventory that I got. Look on the memo quickly. What is it? 4860 Dalmatians. Okay. That one there. Ooh. I have so many shadows now. 4860. It's that one that should go there. And can I say, if your paper looks like mine at this stage, with minus the highlighting, it's still good. People will be able to figure out that's what you want. We become masters of the 1,000 papers being marked. Ne?
But what if my paper is marked on the first
No,
day
no.
and then
No.
show?
That's why you remark. Okay, let's. Yeah, there's definitely people first marking. But I can promise you that a lot of people is at their best with first marking because they mark slower and they check everything. Ne? Whereas guys who've been doing it for years is not necessarily your better markers. You can't, and that is also, you guys mustn't worry about stuff that you cannot control. I cannot even worry about it, even though I am marking. You can't worry about stuff like that. Okay? Can I give you solace in this? I will give you solace in this. Between your paper 1 and 2, you have at least 8 questions, right? And each of those questions will be marked by a different person. It's not one person that marks your paper. We are put into groups and you are marking question 1 of paper 1. It's the only thing you mark. So in other words, chances are very good that you'll have at least one of your questions is going to be an extremely good marker. One would be an average marker, one would be a good marker, one might be a bad marker. But it's a combination. It's better than me. You know how many mistakes I make. You know how many times you have to re-add. And you know what? The adding is not even a problem because they are marking, e-marking. So the computer adds the ticks. I don't know what if the computer misses a mark, then the earth is at the end. Let's go on. Don't worry about stuff you can't control. Can I go on with stuff we can control?
Okay.
Okay, now, what is my liquid asset now? 38? Okay, to current liabilities, which is X. Now they tell me that my asset test ratio is 1.2 to 1, right? Now if I know that, I know if I said 3840 over X, it was equal to 1.2. Because how does my ratios work? Oh, where's another clean paper? My ratios must works like this. If I have 10 and I have 5, I divide both sides with 5, then I get 2 to 1. So now if I say you don't have the 5, it's 10 to X, but it gives me 2 to 1, how did I get to the 2? Both sides was divided by the X. So 10 over X gives me 2. You see? And how will I solve that then? Then I know 10 equals 2x, so x equals 5. And please don't tell your math teacher that I work the wrong ways around. What's wrong?
This is not helping.
What is not helping?
No, it is helping, but it's not. You're reminding myself of that.
Oh, was paper 1 bad?
No.
Like math and subject.
Okay. So what do I learn from this? What did I learn from this easy thing?
Solve for x.
In the end, I am going to take the 3840, ne? And I'm going to divide it by the 1.2. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you are right.
Or am I going to, yeah, I'm going to divide it by
You
1.2.
are right.
And that's going to give me whatever goes here, and then I can finish the story. Okay. That plus equals goes there. I want you, and you guys, I'm recording this because I need you to hear me. Accounting is not about doing something, oh, I've learned all of that, move on to the next one. You now have to go read. It's not how you learn. You have to learn like this. We've done this question now today. So when we get home, you need to redo this question and see which of the things that I explained stuck. The things that didn't stuck, can you figure it out when you look at the memo? Or do you have to go back to the video? Once you've done that, you don't move on. You do this question again till you get to a point where you feel, okay, the things that I don't get is the things I'll never get. We are now at a point in your life before the matric exam where you have to know your strengths. If your strength is not ratios, then don't worry about these ratios. You will see everything counts a little few marks. Altogether it's a lot of marks. But try and do the things you can do. Do a paper at least, do a question at least 3 times. Now you've done this question. Now you go 2022, you do question 1 again. Same thing. Can't just go to new things all the time because you have not even conquered the old one. It's not about how many examples you can work out. It's quality over quantity. Okay.
I'm gonna do one.